I'm 68 years old, and I need to tell you something that most people won't tell you until it's already too late. Aging isn't what you think it is, and the most damaging part isn't your body slowing down. It's the way your mind quietly turns against you, without you even noticing. For most of my life, I believed aging was something that happened to you, something you endured, something you survived. I thought getting older meant shrinking your world, doing less, wanting less, expecting less. I thought it meant waking up every morning and slowly accepting that your best days were behind you. That belief nearly ruined the last third of my life, because no one tells you this when you're younger. Your parents don't. Your teachers don't. Society certainly doesn't. After 65, aging becomes less about your health and more about the stories you tell yourself every single day. And if those stories are wrong, everything feels heavier than it needs to be. Let me explain. When I retired at 65, I expected relief. No more deadlines, no more pressure, no more stress. Instead, I felt something far worse. Useless. The phone stopped ringing. The calendar emptied. People stopped asking for my opinion the way they used to. And without realizing it, I started narrating my own decline. I'm too old for that. That phase of my life is over. It's not worth starting now. Nothing physically dramatic happened. No illness, no accident. Just a quiet shift in how I thought. And that shift changed everything. It took me 3 years to understand something most people never do. After 65, your quality of life depends on 5 small mindset shifts you practice every day. Not big life changes, not dramatic transformations, just subtle changes in how you interpret your own life. Here's the first one. Mindset shift number 1. Stop measuring life by usefulness. For decades, you're trained to measure your worth by output, your job, your productivity, your achievements. Then retirement comes, and suddenly the scoreboard disappears. And if you don't change the way you measure yourself, you feel like you're fading. Here's the truth I wish I had learned sooner. Your value was never tied to usefulness. It was tied to presence. You don't need to contribute to deserve space in the world. You don't need to justify your existence. Some of the most meaningful moments in my later years came from doing absolutely nothing productive at all. Sitting with my wife in silence, watching my grandchildren play, listening instead of fixing. After 65, stop asking, "What am I useful for?" Start asking, "What can I be present for?" That single change lifted a weight I didn't know I was carrying. Mindset shift number 2. Stop calling it decline. Call it change. Every ache becomes a verdict. Every slower step feels like proof that life is closing in. I used to narrate everything as loss. I can't do what I used to. I'm not as sharp as before. I'm slowing down. And while some of that is true, the framing was killing my joy. Because change isn't decline by default. Yes, my body changed. But so did my patience. So did my perspective. So did my ability to sit with discomfort without panicking. I noticed things I rushed past when I was younger. Conversations had more depth. Moments lasted longer. After 65, stop scanning your life for what's disappearing. Start noticing what's emerging. Different doesn't mean worse. It just means unfamiliar. Mindset shift number 3. Stop postponing joy until conditions are perfect. This one is dangerous because it feels reasonable. I'll travel when my knees feel better. I'll start that hobby when I have more energy. I'll enjoy myself once things settle down. Here's the hard truth. After 65, waiting for perfect conditions often means waiting forever. Your energy doesn't suddenly surge. Life doesn't suddenly simplify. But joy doesn't require ideal circumstances. It requires permission. Some of my happiest moments in recent years were imperfect. Short trips instead of big ones. Slower walks. Messy attempts at new hobbies. If I had waited to feel ready, none of them would have happened. Stop asking, am I able enough? Start asking, is this meaningful enough to try anyway? Joy is not something you earn after preparation. It's something you practice in imperfect conditions. Mindset shift. Number 4, stop shrinking your identity. This one almost broke me. Somewhere along the way, I started introducing myself by what I used to be. I was an engineer. I used to run a business. I retired from, notice the past tense. Without realizing it, I locked my identity behind me. After 65, many people slowly reduce themselves to memories. That's a mistake. You are not a finished story. You are a different chapter. I started learning things I never had time for, not to master them, not to impress anyone, just to stay curious. Curiosity keeps you alive internally long after the body slows down. The moment you stop learning is the moment aging becomes suffocating. You don't need a new career. You need a living identity. Mindset shift. Number 5. Stop treating time like something you're losing. This was the hardest one for me. Every birthday felt like subtraction. Another year gone. Less ahead. And yes, time is limited. But here's the paradox. When you stop treating time like something you're losing, you stop wasting it emotionally. I don't rush the way I used to. I don't multitask conversations. I don't delay important words. Knowing time is finite didn't make my life smaller. It made it sharper, more intentional, more honest. After 65, time stops being a resource to optimize and becomes something to inhabit. And that changes everything. Let me ask you something. If nothing about your circumstances changed, but these 5 mindset shifts became part of your daily thinking, would aging still feel like decline? Or would it feel like a different rhythm of living? Because here's what no one tells you. The fear of aging is mostly fear of meaninglessness. And meaning is not age-dependent. It's mindset-dependent. If I could talk to my 65-year-old self, I would say this. Stop bracing for the end. Stop narrating your own disappearance. Stop assuming the best parts are behind you. They aren't. They're just quieter, slower, and easier to miss if you're still chasing who you used to be. After 65, your job is no longer to become more. It's to notice more, feel more, choose more intentionally. Aging didn't ruin my life. The wrong mindset almost did. And the moment I changed how I thought about aging, aging changed how it felt. The question isn't whether you're getting older. The question is whether you're willing to think differently about it, starting today. Because the way you think about aging becomes the way aging treats you, and that shift can happen right now.